Hello, I'm Paul Sng. I directed a film called Sleaford Mods, Invisible Britain.
I'm Lisa McKenzie. I'm a class warrior, academic, general pain in the arse.
Firstly, I just want to find out, why are you getting a cab today? Why are you getting a taxi?
We're going to see a London screening of the film. It's being shown all over the country, and we've got a showing today at the Rio in Dalston, which is a really good independent cinema that shows a lot of independent films.
So what's your involvement in this as well then?
Well, I'm in the film.
The chapter that Lisa's in is about class inequality. Lisa's written a book that I read called Getting By.
Getting By, yeah.
And we met one Friday in London in a Soho, sort of not an illegal boozer, but kind of an underground small place, the kind of places that you don't really see that much anymore. And,
apparently it's the last one left.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the last sort of underground, late night boozer left in Soho.
Oh really?
Yeah.
God, I didn't even realise there were those sort of places around are illegal boozers now.
No, it's. I think it's the last one that's sort of late drinking, like a late drinking club, really.
Yeah, I mean it's on Greek Street.
Right.
It's called Evaristo, and a mate of mine, Trish, who's the owner and manager of it. She's had it for like quite a few years, and I reckon it's the best bar in London.
I do. I think so. Yeah. It's when I went in it kind of made me feel a lot better about London.
Really?
Actually, yeah. I mean, as somebody that is at the moment, I'm doing a lot of research on gentrification, and to see that these places are existing and how they're existing is incredible. The film is being shown in Dalston, which is basically the front line of gentrification, and then for me, class war, really. Gentrification is class war. If you're going to see the film because you think it's about a band, you're going to be disappointed, because it's actually, it's for me, I think it's the way that Sleaford Mods almost plays the soundtrack to Austerity Britain.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about the actual film itself and how you came to actually get involved in it?
The film follows Sleaford Mods on a tour of places around the UK, places like Scunthorpe, places like Wakefield, Barnsley, Carlisle. And in my head I thought that'd make a good idea for a documentary. I've never made a film, never even picked up a camera before.
Oh really? No way, that's
I had the idea, got in touch with Nathan, who I'd sort of met at the same time as I met the band, and asked him if he'd sort of be up for doing it with me, and he said yes. And the film was crowdfunded by the sort of fans of the band and people who just were interested in it. We'd had about 6 weeks to get the money together and plan it, and then we were on the road with them. And what we basically do, wherever the tour went, we would sort of interview fans, we'd interview the band when we could grab a minute with them, and then we'd sort of see what was going on in the local communities. In Liverpool, we met up with the families that set up a campaign group called JENGBA, which is a campaign against joint enterprise law. Right. Which is a law that basically, if you're charged with a crime, say people who are with you were there at the time and they didn't do anything about the crime or were just guilty by association, they can also be charged with it. Yeah. There's a lot of young boys, from ages of young as 14 and 15 that are doing life sentences just because they were at the scene, of a murder. Crime. I mean, one particular kid that caught our mind, it was for our producer Andrew Tiernan, who put us in touch with these families, was a boy called Jordan Cunliffe, who was 15, he was blind, and at the scene of this guy that was killed, Jordan was charged with it, and Jordan wasn't wearing any shoes and socks, and they said that he could have kicked the guy in the head.
That's insane.
It's insane, and that's what the film was. It was just going to these places and getting in touch with people and saying, look, can we talk to you about what you're campaigning against, whatever the issues were. And as we were saying, they're things that are not necessarily always a byproduct of austerity, but things that have maybe been around for a long time.
Yeah. It's about what happens when, money, land, wealth, what happens when that is worth more than people, experiences, families, communities. What do we value today? And what don't we value, and what are the consequences of that?
What do you think has caused that? Because it can't be that everyone in the UK has suddenly become sort of heartless, uncaring people.
I think one of the things is social media. Social media's got many good uses, I think, but I think one of the negative things is it's a place to show off. It's a place where your status is on show, and I think a lot of studies have shown that children now, there's higher rates of depression because there's a constant need to validate your existence, and it's the same when you get into the adult world. I mean, it's like, you've got to own your own house and all this other stuff, and it's it's part of a system that isn't working. You know,
Yeah.
you're looking at places where there are sort of job centres where they're now handing out leaflets saying if you want to leave London, we'll help you. Because they want to push people out. If this continues, 20, 30 years from now, these kind of areas that have a rich tradition and a mixed tradition of different sort of people, whether you've got working class people, whether you've got middle class people, it'll all just be a certain sort of financial class almost in the inner city areas.
Is that outside of the big cities, there are tight communities that are looking after themselves, that are finding ways to try and take care of themselves despite of the system that hurts them.
Yeah.
And their aspiration is completely different to the system. London is frightening. London is a very, very frightening place. The absolute lack of regard for people's health, well-being, lives, families, communities is astounding, actually.
So from making this film, what have you discovered personally about what's going on? And
well, what Lisa says, going around the country, there is a lot of hope for me. It kind of gave me a sense of optimism about communities, and that's how you change things just within your area.
What message would you say to people who are they know something's wrong but they don't really know what to do? What would your advice be?
There is things happening all over.
Yeah.
Get involved in your local community and actually fight it on a local level. Local politics actually, I think, is the future.
Well, look, can I just say, it's been a fascinating conversation. It's really good to have you on board, and thank you so much for taking part, and good luck
You're
with the
welcome.
screening tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Thanks for watching The Gentleman Cabbie. Click the videos to see more great interviews, and don't forget to subscribe.